is there anything you guys want us to deep dive before we go there? What would help you get to that next level of success in this industry?
You see my pen, Mom?
Nope. I'm just kidding. I know you're not talking to me. I apologize, Adam. Let's do a couple things that we try to do every time we are in class together. One is to, if you're going to do just the application to the Department of Real Estate for the exam, as of the 6th, so what's today, the 8th? Yeah. So as of the 6th, they are reviewing applications that were submitted October 16th. So we're talking like 3 weeks, right? That's not bad. If you want to do the combo, which I try to encourage people to do, they're looking at applications from the 11th. Did you want to say hello to everyone? Come on, let's say hello. Oh, you don't want to say hello? You just want to sit in my lap? Okay, that works too. She'll come around. She'll get, you know how you get for babies are. Anyway, so the combo, the difference between the combo and just applying for the exam itself. Applying for the exam is about $60 roughly, right? Give or take. And then, but the combo is the $60 for the exam plus the license, which is two something. So you're over 300 with the state of California. I don't know why I don't just share the whole screen with you. Sorry about that, guys. Now we're in the holidays. We hit the holidays right quick, right? And people are financially losing their minds. I don't know if you've been on the freeway recently. What is it that happens right after Halloween? I don't know if it's a sugar rush or insulin, but people immediately drive like we're already in the holidays. So that being said, if you're if the spending of $60 is the maximum you can spend the $60. If the 300 some odd dollars is the maximum that you can, or you can allot that aside based on other like unexpecteds like family and stuff for the Thanksgiving or the traveling of it all, then do the combination, because you're really only talking the difference of like 5 days on the application process. If you do the combination of the exam and I need to mute this other computer, of the exam and the license, as soon as you pass the state exam, you immediately are going to have that license mailed to you, and it's going to be published that you pass the state exam, and you're going to start getting an influx of brokers saying, we would like you to work for us. And you're like, how do they know that? Well, they know because it's public record. So when you put in your application to take the exam, as a reminder, whatever address you put in your eLicensing, that address is public. So if you want to go get a PO box, or if you already have a broker that you're interested in working in, let them know that you would like to use their application, their address for mailing your Department of Real Estate stuff to. That way you don't necessarily have to pay for a PO box. And we'll definitely go from there, right? But I would rather tell you ahead of time that your address is public record, because I've had a number of students in the past go, or not in the past go, when you said get a PO box, I didn't want to get one. I didn't really, I'm like, no, your address is public record, not your date of birth, not your social security or any of that other stuff, because the California Department of Real Estate is going to protect that information. They're required to by federal and state law, right? But your address. So we can actually look that up, so I can maybe I can explain a little bit better. I think
I
you
have a
should.
question.
Yeah, Kayla, go ahead.
Hi. So I actually took online courses through like just a third party. And then I
Yeah.
took the test and I failed it. So I decided I wanted more proper instruction. That's why I'm in this class. But I didn't really know that part right there. Am I able to change my address?
Heck yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like the previous address won't be public anymore. It'll be the new updated address.
Oh,
If I
no.
pass the test.
If you pass the test, now your information isn't public if you didn't pass.
Okay, yeah, I failed it.
Oh, Kayla, my three brothers, all brokers, two brokers, one real estate agent, and they're like, take the exam. You're already in the office, like youngest of four, like drama. I had that walk of shame when I failed the first time. Oh my gosh, you would have thought I was like, I don't even want to go to work. I'm like, oh crap, I work for these people. These are my brother. Okay. So don't feel bad. And again, you might have a test anxiety. You might have almost gotten in a car accident on the way there. You might only have a particular amount of time. You might not have slept the night before because of the kids. Like there's so many things we have to look up and or not look up, but think about in this process. That's why anytime I talk about this with students, I say, hey man, take the noon exam. Don't go to the one at 8. Get there about an hour early, find parking, have a snack in the car, go do the bathroom break before you walk into the room because the only thing you can bring is your driver's license. Oh, did you want me to show them Carl? Okay, everybody, this is Carl. Wait, you got to let him go. Having it is sorry guys. Hey, okay. This is Carl, everyone. Oh, you can't see him because of the thing. This is Carl. Did you want me to okay, here you go. I can't play with you right now. I gotta work. That's how big our dog was and now she's like a whopping 9 pounds. Anyway, okay, this is me when we look up my address. Now my PO box, this is my PO box. We're actually going to move PO boxes because we moved and traveling to go to this PO box to get stuff as a little med. So we're going to be switching that up. It's easy. You go into eLicensing and it says change your address. You're like, of course. And then you just add that. But this is my information. There's nothing fancy about it, but it's important for you guys to realize this is public record. You can look up any Department of Real Estate licensed agents information. First name, middle name, last name, PO box, license number. I have to get my continued education before February of 2025. I've been licensed since March of 2001. I work with Dorothy. Dorothy and I instruct at LACCD together. We are a very petite company. I previously worked with Premier Agency Network, which is a ginormous digital company, and they've got those are all of their branches. And then this is the salesperson list. So there's 399 or something like that. Okay. So this is a big company. I don't need to work for a big company. If you want to work for a big company, you totally can. I just need you guys to know or be aware this is all public information. Whether or not you want it to be public or not, that's just the way that the state of California rolls. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Okay. This is information. I want you to be very aware of that, right? I was speaking to a broker in my area and they were sharing with me something about the exam was going to be changing at the beginning of the year and wanted to know what exactly that would be. And sorry guys, I'm reading a comment in chat. If this course was a compliance within the new law, so I won't have to take additional courses. Now, Adam, that's a great question. You're talking about Senate Bill 1495. And let's look that up, okay? I actually have Senate Bill 1495. I have a video on Senate Bill 1495, and I think I have under the bias training certification. Now, I appreciate that the broker shared that information with you because the reality is if you have taken and it's the practice class, it's not the principles class because practice and principles are the two classes that are required for the salesperson exam. Those are the required ones. Then you can take a third one, which usually people take legal aspects, and I encourage people to take that one. Let's look in our real estate folder, and I can put this in the chat so you guys have it.
Oh, I had a input with someone being a little curious. I'm not giving too much information, but yeah, I feel like I was actually wondering if they changed the exam because I paid people who like teach brokers who teach the course and all that stuff for people to pass, and
Yeah.
nothing was the same. Like there was the reason honestly, like I did great on everything else except for I did passing grades on everything else except for the part where it was broker to broker. There was a lot more broker questions than anything that I've ever studied. Like it was like an influx for a salesperson exam. I thought I had to check my exam to make sure I wasn't taking broker's exam. So I think that's a big difference. But that's just my
Oh,
little input.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
no,
was
no,
like
no.
something where I was like, I feel crazy right now.
Mm-mm.
Like what?
You're
Like what am I
totally not
supposed to
crazy.
do? Yeah, so
No,
I think that might be the big difference, or they added more responsibility maybe on a salesperson to know broker responsibilities.
and we're supposed to. We are totally supposed to. So this is me taking a picture of the California Department of Real Estate. This is actually the commissioner for the Department of Real Estate in the state of California. So new pre-license education requirements that are coming in January of 2024. So Senate Bill 1495, signed by Governor Newsom back in September 2022. And for those of you that are like, why'd you guys let them get away with this? We worked very hard as a group of people saying, and what I mean by we, I don't mean licensed agents. Half the licensed agents out there don't know that this is going to be part of their continued education next year. Because if it's not something that's relevant to your job right now, it doesn't matter. So people that are already licensed, they're going to be like, wait, what happened? But brokers that are getting new agents, and then anyone that does any type of instruction, all of our curriculum had to be rewritten or updated or corrected, then be submitted to the California Department of Real Estate for them to approve the curriculum to make sure that we are staying within the parameters of the updated bias training. So let's read this together. So the new licensing pre-license education requirements. I'm going to share this with you, and then I'm going to express to you, if you've already taken this class, don't worry about it, but there's a big BUT, not a double T, just a regular T, but we'll talk about that. Okay. So Senate Bill 1495, or SB 1495, which is what a lot of people are calling it, was signed back in 2022. Currently, all applications for the salesperson or broker's examination have to complete the 3-semester or quarter equivalent courses, right? There now has to be as of January 2024, there now has to be a component of implicit bias and a component on the application of federal and state fair housing laws to the practice real estate course. So the new requirements effectively affect the individual who submits an application received by the Department of Real Estate on or after January 1st. If you've taken the practice course, so everybody in class with me, or everyone in Zoom with me right now, if you've already taken the practice course, you please, before December, well, not even before the end of December, you have this week, put your application in. If you have taken the practice class from anybody, whether it's Calabria Allied Schools, UCLA Extension, Glendale Community College, LACCD, your run-of-the-mill fly-by-night private practice institution, you have to get your practice class and your other 2 classes submitted to the Department of Real Estate for approval for you to apply to take the exam. You've got to get past that section. You've got to get your licensing done. So we have an example in class. Kayla has already gone through the process of her 3 classes. Plus, she took the exam. She needs to set a date for the next time she takes the exam. And you're already kind of grandfathered, not kind of, but you're grandfathered in. If, however, any students I have or any students that anybody else hasn't applied to the Department of Real Estate and given either your transcripts for your 3 classes or your certifications for those 3 classes, and January 1st hits, and you haven't applied and they haven't gotten back to you, or you applied and they hadn't gotten back to you. Now we're in the holidays, so we got to, even though they're like 2 or 3 weeks out, over the summer, they were 10 weeks out on application. So I'm telling you, you guys have to get this done this week, or like next week or whatever.
Uh,
You'll have to take the practice class again for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Kathleen, this is
You're okay.
Millie.
Yeah.
So I'm a little confused and concerned. So, as far as I'm concerned, yesterday was my first class with you
Right.
on the principles, and I think by the time principles will get over by end of November. I think the exam will be taken in December by me.
Mhm.
So, do I have to follow this route that you're telling me?
No. Now, Millie's I'm glad you're here. She's one of my new students, and every school that I work at right now already has the syllabus, um, uh, already has approval with the state of California. The difference between Millie and any of students I've had up till last week, and I mean that seriously, up to literally like last week or this week, for those of you that just finished classes with me at a different school, we have completely new books, completely new curriculum, and we have the bias training in the course curriculum that's already approved. So Millie will be you'll actually be, you guys are going to be my test subjects to see if I can add. It's not hard to add that stuff, but I kind of jokingly said something about it on Tuesday because that was our first class together, and I was like, I've got to, you don't have to teach people how to be discriminatory. People that are racist are racist. You don't have to, it's not. But that's basically what we're going to be doing is we have these components for expressing implicit bias or helping people in the position of an agent understand that maybe the way they're saying something isn't being understood by the client. And that's really what this implicit bias is. If you want, you can take the bias training certification through the National Association of Realtors, and it's free, so that you can have a different experience with the implicit bias. And it might also help you with anything, like, because I'm telling you right now, brokers are like, holy crap, now I've got to make sure that all my, sorry about the language is stronger on Wednesday nights, ladies and gentlemen. It's the cranberry cider that I'm drinking. The brokers are going to be a lot more concerned about how to handle and how to navigate. And so I'm going to give you guys information about the bias training that their agents that have already gotten licensed can take, and you can take too. But I think that it will definitely, going through that simulation is going to help you understand further why the bias training is needed. And it also looks really good on your resume because you got it with the National Association of Realtors. Even though the National Association of Realtors just lost a lawsuit, don't worry about it. They're coming back. They're coming back strong. So for myself, I just started yesterday and I'm set to finish in January. Where should I stand? Where do I stand in this? Adam, you're in the same place that Millie is. So if you just started in classes, instructional course classes, are you in, Adam, I do apologize. Are you new this semester? Have you taken a practice course, or are you in the principals class are you in my principals? I've got property management, economics, legal aspects, principles. I don't start teaching a practice class until December. And that class is already, all of the schools that I teach at are approved. So anybody that's taking it after last week, we're golden. Okay. Then you were good. No, Adam. So you guys are basically going to be my test subjects for the new curriculum. And you might hear me say the way I really feel, which is, this is a bunch of crap. Why? This is a stupid. Okay. And I do that in class. Like, we'll like have an example in the curriculum, and it'll be like, okay, here's the example the book says, Bill and Bob are buying the property from each other, and Bob didn't tell Bill. I'm like, that's a bunch of horse malark. You can't do that in California. That's illegal. But the examples are the examples. They're supposed to help that fundamental practice. And so I'll probably be doing the same thing with our practice class, which I'll be like, this is a bunch of hocus majocus. Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is there's a lot riding on the bias training. Now, I do apologize because I really thought that I had the screen open so you guys could see this. Let me share this in the Google. This is one of the parts of my Google Drive that I have for you guys, that I have for all my students, old and new. I have what's called the 2024 bias training certification with the National Association of Realtors. I also have how to break this down. And you, and I mean this in all honesty, Adam, if you want to forward this to your broker is going to be like, holy cow, this guy's the cat's meow. And the reason I'm saying that is this will benefit the broker. So let me just show you what this is. Bias training certification. It's called Fair Haven, a Fair Housing Simulation. You go on to the National Association of Realtors. I'll drop this in chat in just a moment, okay? You can click log in. For those of you that are like, yeah, but Kathy, I don't have a membership with the National Association of Realtors. That's okay. Not a member? Register as a guest. Why do you think it would be beneficial for you prior to you getting your license to be a guest and have the opportunity to get information from the National Association of Realtors?
You'll get on their mailing list or whatever.
Yeah. And so then what's happening in 2024. And then they're going to be like, oh, these are the things that we're doing this year. These are the things we're doing next year. This is what's happening in Minnesota or Missouri or wherever, Kentucky, that they're having that lawsuit issue. And, I kind of went off on it on Tuesday. So, oh no, I'm so sorry. You guys weren't in that class. That was last week. No, maybe I did. I don't know. I apologize. My classes are running together. Everything's running together. Welcome to Kathyville. I want you guys to check this out. And I think that this will help formulate. But Adam, this might get you further with that broker going, hey, I talked to my instructor. She told me about the National Association of Realtors. She actually has a PDF on how to go in and take the National Association of Realtors bias training certification. Once you have filled out, let me make this a little bit smaller. Once you've filled out or registered this information as a non-member, if you are and Adam, as an example, the broker that you talk to is a member of his local or his or her or their local association, right? So they are a member through their local association with the California Association of Realtors, as well as the National Association of Realtors. It all looks like, it comes like a Costco family pack. That's just the way they roll. Okay. And so any of the realtors that work in his office aren't going to have to register to in this way. They can actually literally log in. This is my sign in and my ID, because I took a picture. I actually went through the process, took a picture of how to do this. Once you've done that login, you're going to be able to launch. Now, notice here it says time to complete. It's going to take anywhere from 60 to 100 minutes. It took me 100 minutes because I found that I was biased. And I was pissed. I was like, I'm not biased. How rude. But the reality of the situation is it puts you in a position as an agent to help your clients, and it truly is a simulation. Okay, your clients want to buy a house here, or they want to do this, or they want to do that, but your clients are of a same-sex relationship, or your clients have a disability, and if they want to live there, they don't have access for people with in a wheelchair, or they don't have wheelchair ramps, or and so it'll ask you these different things. Do you, and this is the example that I had, do you ask the homeowners association? If you've ever been in a class with me where I've been live, I'm not a huge fan of homeowners associations because they always seem to be like doing something on the down low. They're little Sopranos-ish for me. It could be because I've been in the industry for a long time. I've seen a lot of bad stuff, but I was like, if my clients, if they don't have a ramp now, they're not going to have a ramp later, because I've worked with homeowners associations that are terrible. And I was like, and so one of the responses to the simulation question was, should you take your client where their needs will be met? Should you require the homeowners association to build a ramp? Should you? And I was like, they're not going to build immediately. That's my personal bias. I'm like, they're not building a ramp. My people's money's going where it should go. And I was wrong, because the reality of the situation is my client, it's 30 years of the rest of their life. It's not 30 years of mine. It's like 90 days of ours, right? And I like, when I when I got that answer wrong, I was pissed. So it took me more than 60 minutes. It took me closer to 100, because then they put me through a different simulation to see. And basically the simulation is like, hey, it's not really how you feel in your heart of hearts as much as how it's perceived by your client. The client perceived that you didn't take that their disability was important enough for a ramp to be built. And it's like, dude, that's not the truth. In real life, that homeowners association isn't even they're going to IKEA up a ramp, and that thing's going to be jacked after the first rain. So that's a hidden bias. But there was not an intention like, my clients, since he can't walk, he doesn't get to live there. It wasn't like that at all. And I think that when we were arguing as instructors against the idea of teaching bias, how do I teach that to you guys? How do I teach you that people are going to see what they're going to see? Welcome to America, welcome to the world, welcome to humanity, right? But anyway, so this is one of those things for us to take steps back and forth and measures with our family and friends and our niche market and whomever, and go, hey, I know you want to live here, and I know that they don't have a ramp, and I want you to live where you want to live. So we're going to put a request for them to put the ramp in. We're going to let the Americans with Disabilities Act, because of the Americans with Disabilities Act, we're going to let HUD know that this homeowners association actually doesn't have full access for all humans, and see how we'll maneuver it. And then the reality of the situation is this: I want you to be able to live your best life here, but we might be poking the bear. And what I mean, my dad used to say, don't poke the bear, Kathy. And basically, if the bear's sleeping, of course, a grizzly bear or something like that, be realistic. But it could cause them to not live their best life with quiet enjoyment. But that's not, we have to take what we think is our power out of our hands, because it's our clients that actually are the ones in control. And I can tell you right now, I've got a sister-in-law that's got a disability and some other things, and I know how the place where because she lives in San Jose, and And where she lives, they have this what's called considered ADA compliant, but she has to walk up a flight of 12 stairs. She doesn't really have great mobility. And then there's another set of stairs that's 6, and then there's another set of stairs that is 6. They're all cement. So I have a complete I personally have experienced disappointment is probably the most politically correct way I can handle what I talk about. So that's why when I get aggressive with you guys and in the way I'm feeling, it's not you. It's like, dude, I've been in the industry long enough that I know that birds of a feather flock together. Things aren't going to change. But this bias training certification is really kind of for us to go, oh, wait, I should have said to the client, hey, we're going to ask for them to do that. We're going to request and require for them to put in that ramp. And if you want to live here, we're going to make this happen. And we might find in the process, they choose to not follow the law. And then the client can come to us and go, hey, those people suck. And you're like, you think? Let's go put my money in a place that's better. And we have to allow the person or the people that are our clients, our principals, right, to make that choice, even though you and I both know behind closed doors that homeowner association isn't going to do squat. That's the reality of life. But the clients, and that's where that trigger of biases comes in. And so anyway, so you launch it. It could take you 60 minutes. It could take 100 minutes. It could take less. I've got students that got back. They're like, Kathy, it took me like 20 minutes. I was like, what did you do? Was there a cheat sheet, or whatever? But it's not there. It just depends. It just depends, but it could take upwards of 100 minutes. So I'm going to put this in chat. This is completely free. Okay. And Adam, I think it'd be a great idea for you to give this to the broker that you were talking to and let them know that you can say whatever you want to. Take every word I'm saying and write this down. No, just kidding. But you can let them know that where you're getting your education, that we already have curriculum approval. There's key words you have to use when you're talking to brokers. One is we have curriculum approval with the Department of Real Estate. That's for the practice class. The other thing is I'm taking my prerequisite courses with whomever. And then, of course, and it's just going to, Adam, I'm really good about making other people look good. I'm really good at just looking like me, but again, I'm here to help you with your success. Okay. This is just the bias training certificate that I put in there for you guys to follow. It's the PDF. You can also, let me make this a little larger. Let me see what other stuff I have in here. It's all about the bias training certification though. Okay, you guys don't technically need that stuff. That's actually one of the letters that needed to be sent to the Department of Real Estate for curriculum. I mean, this is really my curriculum folder for approval and stuff. I apologize. That was like a lot of information. You guys didn't need that. Wonderful students, midterm. So I actually, the way I have this at UCLA Extension is the bias training certification with the National Association is my midterm for them. And not that I'm not going to teach them in the class, but I think it's good to double up on some of this stuff. So yes, you have approval with your curriculum, but I also have the bias training certification so that it adds to the rapport of what it is that you're walking in the door with. Not only did you take it in the practice class with Kathleen or whomever you take it with, but you also have this certification. You get a certificate. I'm not going to show you an image of it because I know how to Photoshop too. I'm not saying you guys are going to do that, but these are recorded videos, and I'm not here to help people crime better. No matter what you've heard, I'm not here to help people crime better. But I had the bulletin with regards to hey, this is what we're rolling out. So if you hear from another broker or any of you guys talk to a broker and they're like, yeah, we don't even know where to start with the bias training certification, have them shoot me an email or give them that I just put in chat, and I can send this as private message as well if you guys want. Just send me an email. Or we can even have those brokers. You can add your broker to our Zooms, guys. It's not like it's hard to get in the Zoom, right? I mean, my passwords are crazy, sarcastically speaking. But it's 7:06, so I'm going to take 5 more minutes of your time, unless you guys have another question, because I'm not here to put you through a 6-hour lecture session with me. We got that tomorrow, right? So for those of you that are in my live lecture courses, those of you that are not in my live lecture courses, that's what, and those of you that are, Wednesday nights are all about you asking me questions that are going to help you pass the state exam. Now, Kayla, I want to show you something. Wait, I don't want to show you that. Hold on a second. Where are we? Where are we?
Kathy, I have a question. By the way, is it okay
Yeah.
to call you Kathy?
Of course.
Okay, great. So remember I mentioned to you that I was.
Trump took the stand
Oops.
today for an angry.
You're okay. That's okay.
That I was. It's a good surprise that your organization is doing 8 Zoom classes, and you're going so much in depth with each and every course and chapter. I was assuming, like many other courses online, they just do 1 day of Zoom, and in a couple of hours you're done with the entire book, like a super crash course. So basically, I lead a big nonprofit, and I have a travel that was pre-planned in the month of November, and it's very hard for me. Basically, I'll be in India from 21st to first week of December, and the last 3 classes of 21st, 28th, and 30th of November. I mean, I can do it, but it will be like my midnight, like.
Oh, of course.
So I called up the customer care, and the solutions they offered me. One was that, okay, transition to complete online course. No, I don't want to do that, because that's the whole. I'm not a self learner. I love learning with you. Then they said push it all forward, but the next class is starting so late, and again,
Right.
there's a lot of travel involved in my. Uh, so I was just wanting to ask you, is there somebody I can talk to who can understand the situation? And you suggested somebody could take one-on-one class for just these 3 classes, if that's a possibility.
Okay, so there's stuff I can say here that I can't say in class on Tuesday and Thursdays. One thing I would tell you to do is stick it out with us. And then when you're done with the last class that you can do that with us, just call customer service and say, I'm not going to be able to take the rest of this class, do live lecture. I need to make this class independent study, but I still want to start. I still want to keep the other 2 classes live lecture like I've been doing with Kathy up to this point. You can do that, or you can go completely independent study on on all of the classes. So like, let's say as an example, you took the class, don't take the, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but don't take the classes at UCLA Extension, because you're paying a lot of money for 11 weeks. LACCD, everybody else, LACCD, Glendale Community College, who else do I,
No,
LACCD is 9, they're all independent study.
yeah, I don't want to do independent studies.
Yeah.
I terribly fail at that. Like, I don't have the discipline. And that's why I signed up for these live stream classes with Colbury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful that I found you as an instructor.
Oh, thank you.
Like I said, of course, that the class on 21st, 28th, and 30th of November.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to do it practically, I'll be sitting from 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the other side of the globe.
Right.
And there's a purpose for which I'm traveling all the way to the other side of the globe. We're actually opening up a hospital. So,
Oh, that's so awesome.
I'm a children's hospital. So, I'm going to be, my daytime is with bureaucrats signing agreements, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
absolutely.
And because of these 3 days, my days would be kind of screwed up. So I was just trying to see if there is just these 3 days. Everything else is perfect. I can, now align my calendar going forward.
Oh,
But this
yeah.
travel I just cannot do. So is it by any chance possible that, I don't know, one of these senior guys can take a decision? I'm not saying I don't want to attend, or if I can push it into any other class as a makeup, and just last 3
That's
days.
actually not a bad idea, to see if they'd be able to push you into other classes. But we pretty much teach, we all kind of start our cycle of classes at the same time. So instead of you being with me Tuesday, Thursday, you'd be with someone like Monday, Wednesday. So then again, it's not going to help you. So you know what I mean? That's totally frustrating. The problem, so when I say it's our fault, when I say we, I mean anybody that took their exam and became a licensed agent from like say the 80s all the way till probably the early 2000s. We haven't had to, we as licensed agents haven't had to follow any regulatory system. So we could do our continued education in like a weekend. But because of the amount of lawsuits and because of the amount of agents that are like, oh, I totally forgot that was the law and had clients sue, the Department of Real Estate came back and is like, hey, we've got to crack down on this continued education. We have to crack down on the prerequisite education because obviously nobody's listening. And because you guys aren't listening, now we're forcing all educational entities or institutions to require a minimum of each course be an 18 window segment. And so that's where that stupid 18, like you can't take an exam, you have to wait 18 days between each exam you take and all of this other horse malarkey. And it is horse malarkey because people are going to break the law whether if they know the law better, they just know how to break it better. You know what I mean? They know how the loophole. I mean, it's not it's logical and it's also illogical at the same time. But because of the way agents such as myself, I was joking, I think with you guys on Tuesday and said, yeah, we did our continued education on a wine tasting through Paso Robles. I mean, that's how, so that one weekend we get there on the bus and the guy's like, okay, answer these questions. And of course, no one's listening to anything that dude has to say. And so he's like, great answer. It's this. And I'm like, am I the only one? I'm like sitting up front trying to be by the end, I was like, forget it. This guy doesn't, we're all going to pass. We all paid like $400 to do this thing. So that because of the way things were not regulated back then, now they've I would venture to say they've overregulated. So it puts you in a predicament. That's what I mean by stay with us. If you can, stay with us. Let's get, because those last 3 classes you're going to be taking for this book, basically we get to a point in the book where we full circle and we kind of like hit back on the stuff. So by the last 3 class, and you guys have my outlines. These are not the outlines that Calibrate gives out. These are not the outlines I have at any of the other schools. They're available for you and they were built by myself and previous students. And the reason for that is if I use the outlines that are given to me by the company, I can't share that with you.
Yeah.
So I get pushback. They're like, you should probably use the ones. I'm like, yeah, but my students can't review those. And the concentrated amount. And so I have a really good passing rate. So they're not going to say, don't keep doing what you're doing. But so I think you have the tools for, and to be honest, your energy and your emotion have to be available and healthy and rested for what you're doing on the other side of the world. It doesn't need to be. Now, I can say something I'm not supposed to say, which is just turn it on and let the time run. But it's not, and then you get your attendance hours in or whatever. I don't know what the Wi-Fi costs and those other things involved.
Well, that's no problem at all. I mean, if you can understand, accommodate, I can use the last one and I can do self-study and then continue with my rest of the other course.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down. And you can always Zoom me. Like you can come in on you don't have to do live Zooms like this with the other students that are in the class. Literally, that's what this is, that ask me anything moment, in these classes. And or these, I call them classes, but these times are really for me to help you guys get to that next level of success. We can seriously still meet once a week and go over anything. You're like, I read this, I don't remember us talking about this in class. Can you explain it? Or I'm going to take the open book next week. Can we sit? And I can accommodate the Zoom. I can accommodate Zooms. Okay. I'm serious.
So much, Kathy. I'm
Yeah.
seriously, I was telling my husband, I said, this class is extreme. I'll on off record, later on when the entire class is not there, I'll probably tell you what's going on. But this is very important to me, and I'm really blessed to have found you.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I like Adam asked a really good question. Are the classes recorded for her, or maybe because she can watch them at another time? Technically, the classes are recorded for a few different things to make sure that you have attended. And then the other thing is to, like, let's say a student felt in some way, shape, or form that the teacher was discriminatory or called somebody out or some of the other horse malarkey. It's actually to regulate me as an instructor. And I joke with you guys and go, it's because they won't let me do stand up. But the reality is it's for the protection of the money that you guys invested to make sure that we stay on target. Yeah. No, and don't get me wrong, if you guys so they're technically recorded, but it's just like when you go, hey, I'm in my student dashboard and I can't find this or that. For the protection of you as the students, and this goes for all of my students, not just you guys, this is UCLA, Glendale Community College and LACCD. I can't go into the student account and see what you guys are seeing. And so I don't even have an account to be able to tell you where to. I've had students go, oh, it's right here, and I'm like, take a screen capture, put it in chat, and we'll like open it up in class so that you guys can see what other students have available to them. So I do everything I can to maneuver around protecting you guys, but also making sure that I'm meeting your needs. That's the kind of instructor I've had terrible instructors in my life, so I'm trying not to be the best. You know what I mean? Well, I said it. That's the answer. You're like, well, that's not an answer, dude. Where's it in the book? Oh, I don't know. We don't need that, right? I need you guys to be able to find it in the book.
Exactly.
Or books.
Yeah. No, seriously, thank you so much. That really helps. I would still try to attend the class, but if the first one it really takes a toll on me, the following day I'll probably just do self-study and complete the rest of the course. But thank you. Really appreciate
Well,
it.
take it one step at a time. Again, if it wasn't a curriculum requirement, all schools, they're going to not to try to give you guys the easiest way out, but they are going to try to accommodate based on everything that's going on. But the hiccups with people like me that did the Paso Robles winery, or the wine tasting, and I'm not even a wine drinker. I was like, this just sounds fun. I'd rather do this than sit at a computer and listen to some recording, which is what I was doing. But let's do this really quickly. I know I said I was going to let you guys go. It's 7:18. I want you, and you guys help me help you. Okay. I started this on like a couple months ago. What I am trying to do is there's 754 vocabulary terms, right? This is only the letter A. I will be uploading that I did all of the vocabulary in the first video, all the way down to the yellow screen. But what I've been, I went way too far. Sorry, hold on a second. No, I didn't. It's down here. So last week I did all the way through all the way to alienation clause, and then tonight I was going to start with allodial tenure. And you're like, Kathy, what does that mean? Dude, I didn't even know what this meant, and I've had my license for 23 years. But what I've been trying to do, so I just want to show you guys, is I'm trying to take those 754 terms and put some type of imagery or something to help you. Allodial title basically means they can't eminent domain your property, like you're above the law. So allodial title or allodial tenure is, unless I'm misunderstanding this, you guys can tell me. If you can find a better image, basically I'm going to be finding images for every single vocabulary term, and we're going to be building this PowerPoint. We'll do all of A, and then we'll go and do the next set of PowerPoints, and it'll be all of B. We'll have them on these Zooms or on videos as well, so that you guys can go back. And instead of you just now, Elise is awesome. She's one of my favorite students of all time because she built the 754 flashcards on Quizlets. Now this is one step, like she did that step, which was awesome, and it built us into this situation. We've got alluvium. This is a really good example of alluvium, the gradual increase of earth on a shore of an ocean or bank or of a stream resulting from the actions of the water. You can see how the dirt or how the soil or the movement of the soil over time. So this is alluvium. And so I'm trying to get a visual to go with the term and definition, because some of the terms and definitions, I'm like, I've never used these words before. So I wanted to go over these with you guys today. We're not going to, it is 7:20. I'm not here to take your evenings from your family. I want to try to go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour on a Wednesday night. You guys have my email address. I'll put it in chat. You can always shoot me a message. And I can build a PowerPoint around what you were wanting to. We can always do a Zoom. We can always, and the text message. breathe. I say it and I breathe it at night slowly. I did put this in the Google Drive. I want to give you guys the opportunity to see this, but you can see we've only gotten, the last word I did today was arbitration. I think you guys know what arbitration versus mediation. Arbitration is just the facts. It's a retired judge, whereas mediation is like more of a Zen moment where you can give your emotions and stuff. You do need to understand the difference between arbitration and mediation. We'll talk about that in class tomorrow. For those of you that are going to be in class with me tomorrow, those of you that aren't, that's okay too. All of this Google Drive with all of this goodness is available for every student, no matter what school I teach at, to help build up your opportunity. I have the bias training certification, how to build your own brand or business if you'd like. We have PrepAgent information. That's with Joe. You can use my PrepAgent password and ID to get in and check out his stuff. I have exam prep, which is the stuff after you've taken your 3 classes. Prerequisite is what you're doing now. I do probably need to move the Smith purchase though. What's that? Oh, there's nothing in it. Okay, good. I was doing an example. UCLA, my UCLA students didn't get, oh, they did get the practice. Okay, I'm like, they don't have anything in here. And then my Zoom Q&A, previous Zoom Q&As you can go in and look at. Completing license. I thank you. I forwarded the email my class lesson I sent regarding completing license steps before the new year. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Now, Shannon, it's really important for them to know it has to be done before the end of the year. It has to be submitted, and you guys have like 2 to 4 weeks before you're going to get an answer back. So get it done. All right. We will go, but if the information I've given you guys thus far is not benefiting you, the only way I'm going to know how to benefit you is if you share with me what will benefit you. Okay. I'm not here to waste your time, even though sometimes it feels like it. I'm here to help you have the tools for success to pass not only the state exam, but interview with the broker, hire the broker, make sure you get your e-licensing done. I have an e-licensing video on how the step-by-step to do that as well. And we can pretty much do any of that. Any of the stuff I haven't shared that you need help with, let's do it. Okay. But if that being said, it's 7:23. Do you guys have any additional questions or concerns?
Kathleen, I
Yeah,
clicked on the 2 links that you shared. Maybe you shared another link. I joined a little late, so
that's
I
okay.
think I did not find the link for real estate, the big folder, Google
That's okay.
folder. Showing.
I'm going to add it right now. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I am really good at copying the wrong link. Just like not sharing the right
And
screen.
I'm sure that also late.
Let me
Okay.
have you.
Yeah, let me click. Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, awesome. Okay, Adam, absolutely. Shannon, absolutely. Perfect, perfect. Millie, absolutely. If Kayla, if anything, seriously, we can also do one-on-ones. If you guys don't feel comfortable, because these are recorded and these are live, these are my Wednesdays for the students that didn't make it. And for the students that are like, oh crap, I forgot, that kind of stuff. But don't ever feel bad about any of that stuff, okay? It's life. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out. Okay. Well, that being said, let me see. Did you want to come say goodbye? Come on. No?
Wait is yeah.
She doesn't want to say goodbye. I don't know. She's a teenager. What are you going to do? Fur baby teenager. Huh. No longer baby girl.
What's her
Anyway,
name?
her name is Love, but we call her Bubba. It doesn't have to make any sense. Yeah, she's been pretty dramatic. Well, it's been really up and down here, right? With all the stuff that's been going on. So, but wonderful things are coming to pass. So, because I said wonderful things are coming to pass, did you decide for your wonderfulness to come up?
Is
Is
she
that
a
what it
golden
is?
doodle?
She's a multi-poo, but yeah, basically just a smaller version. Oh,
Yeah, very similar looking golden doodle.
yeah. We wanted a golden doodle, but they're like 20 pounds. 18 to 20 pounds, and we have a small house and a small yard, and I'm like, I take her, we do 1 to 3 miles a day, and I can't even imagine like a small to medium sized dog. I don't know how many miles you're supposed to walk a dog, to be honest. But I want her to get her. And I grew up with big dogs, Great Danes and Weimaraners, and so. But I also grew up on acreage. It was different. I have a little tiny house in Los Angeles, and the yard is right for. But we might be adopting again, huh? You might not be spoiled anymore. You might have a little sibling, a little fur baby sibling. I don't know why I'm whispering. It's not like she understands me. I don't think she's. I don't know that that's gonna work out because she's pretty spoiled. But we'll figure it out. But keep me posted. Look, when you're on the other side of the world, life is gonna be. The focus is the focus. You and I can work through any of the stuff to prep you for that state exam. That's another reason I have like this PowerPoint or this Google Drive, so that you always have something you can put your hand on, even if you can't meet with me. Again, it's to try to help build success for you. So
yeah, like I said, I'll try my best to join at least the 21st one, and I'll see if I'm able to, stay up all night and as much as I can, and then my next day, how much am I? I do think I'm a woman of metal, but the metal sometimes it melts away. So let's see. And if it works, I'll continue the following classes. But if it ruins my next day and if it's too much of a cost, I'll just kind of say hi to you and then just turn the camera off and let it be.
okay, well, and again, it's okay. Okay, you've asked, it's been brought into the atmosphere. There could be manifestation for a better way, so we're just going to call that better way in. And if there is a way where you can like, I don't know, test out or whatever, we'll figure it out. But you're not alone. We're gonna definitely figure this out.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, of course. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye, Kara. See you too. Oh, did you want to say what we already said?